Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Yerushalayim again on a Friday. It's an hour and a half before candlelighting, and you are here in Yerushalayim. We are learning Tomer Devorah in order to bring down Shelayma for Binyamin Yisroel ben Chanita. And we do that by learning the Sefer and also by hoping that its lessons will work its way into our hearts and change and shape our behavior anew to emulate HaShem more, especially in our interpersonal interactions. Okay, so today's Mida, we are on Mida 7. We're already more than halfway through the Sefer. Yeshuv Yirachmenu. If he returns, then he will be merciful to us. So when a person does tshuva, HaShem is merciful to us. Notice it says to us, not to him. I mean, Hashem's also merciful to him. But anyway, behold, the Holy One, blessed be he, does not behave like the same attributes that a regular flesh and blood person has. What do we mean by that? If your friend angers you, if you're angry at your friend, and then he comes, he wants to appease you, he wants to make up with you. You're a little bit appeased, right? You say, yes, I forgive you. But your love for that person is not going to go back to the way it was, right? You hurt me. Okay, I forgive you. But you know what? Our relationship is never going to be the same because I am going to remember that you did this thing and I can't trust you. Forever, it's going to be in the back of my mind. I can't really trust you like I thought I could before. That's how most human beings are. Aval im chata adam va'asa tshuva, but if a person sins and then he does tshuva, the level that he achieves is even higher with the Holy One, blessed be he, than it was before. So Hashem is very different. He doesn't say, okay, you did this thing, I'm going to hold on to the memory. I forgive you, but I'm going to hold on to the memory of it. No, he truly forgives him 100%. And not only that, the relationship doesn't go back to where it was before. It goes back to an even higher level. I know that is to say, like it says in Brachos, b'makom shebalei tshuva omdim, ein tzadikim gemurim yicholim lamod. In the place where a balei tshuva can stand, where the balei tshuva are able to stand, even tzadikim gemurim cannot reach that place. So on the one hand, right, that means that, okay, because if you blew it, right, and then you realize what you did and you regret what you did and you want to do tshuva for what you did and you ask Hashem's forgiveness for what you did and you come back, now you're on the level of balei tshuva. You're standing in this higher place than even the tzaddikim who never fell in the first place are standing. Hashem has raised you up higher than you were before. The hatam k'depershu b'perek haboneh be'inyan hey. And the reason for this is explained in the Perek of Bona in the Gemara when it talks about the idea of the letter Hey. Lama hi asuya ki achsadra. Why is the letter Hey made like an achsadra? And I assume you're like me saying, what's an achsadra, right? The first time I learned this, I had to look it up. What's an achsadra? An achsadra is some kind of outdoor place that's a little bit protected, but it has a wide opening, at least on one end, and maybe it's slightly covered. But it's basically like an open place that has like a little bit of protection around it, but not all the way around. Shekola rotzelat seit mi olamo. So the letter Hey is like an achsadra. Why? All who want to leave the world, you'd say they can go out. There's nothing holding them back. There's nothing holding them in. And what do we mean by leave the world? We mean like you want to go over to the dark side, right? You want to not keep to the straight and narrow path. The way is open for you. Peirish, what is the explanation of this? Ha'olam nivra behay, that the world was created with the letter Hey. We know from Breshis that it says, I'm just going to get you the exact quote, Eila toldos hashamayim va'aretz b'hi baram. These are the generations or that which came out of the heavens and the earth in his creating them. And the word b'hi baram can be changed in a number of ways, but one way it can be changed is behay baram. With the letter Hey, he created them. And we also know from other places that God created this world with the letter Hey, the upper worlds with the letter Yud, but our world with the letter Hey. So let's see, Ha'olam nivra behe, the world was created with the letter He, ve'akadosh baruch hu bara olam patuach litzad hara ve'hachet lirvacha. And the Holy One, blessed is He, created an opening in the world. He created the world with an opening to the side of Ra, to the side of evil and sin. He gave it a wide place. Ein sad she'ein chomer v'yetzer hara upagam. There is no side in this world, in this little flimsy exadra with its flimsy railings, there's no side that doesn't have like materiality, kind of pawing at it, and the yetzer hara and blemish, like just, waiting to grab you. Kimin achsadra, the world's like an achsadra, eino bal gedeirim. Elapirtza gedola perutza litzad hara litzad mata. Rather, the world is not, it's not like a place with a lot of like very strong fences around it. It has a big opening at the bottom, and that opening is to the side of Ra, and it's, faces downward. Call Misha Yirtzelet Seik Me Olamo, and anybody who wants to leave the world, leave the right path, the righteous path, Kama Petachim Lo. How many openings there are for that person. Lo Yifne Letzad Shelo Yimtza Tzad Chet Avon Likanes El Chitzonim. There isn't a place that he could turn to where there isn't an opening to the side of sin and iniquity to enter into that outside world, into that outside realm. V'hi ptucha milmala. And the letter He is not only open in that big wide way on the bottom, but it's also open with a little opening in the top. She'im yashuv, that if the person will do tshuva, yikabluhu, he will be received, like through that opening at the top. The hikshu lahaldruhu baha, and the Gemara asks, wait a minute, why doesn't he just go back the way he came? What's wrong with going back through the bottom? Lo mistaya milsa. And the Gemara answers, it's not going to help him. That's not the way back for him. Ratsu bazeh, what does it mean by this? Shehashav b'tshuva lo yaspik lo sheyeh negdar be'avon kegeder tzadikim. That the one who has already fallen and then did tshuva and returned, it's not enough for him to be held in from sin by the sort of very light kind of fences that there are, which are enough for the tzaddikim. Because the tzaddikim, they didn't sin. As geder ma'at yaspik aleihim, just a little light fence is enough for them. They're not tempted in the same way. They can even go really close to that little light fence and they won't be tempted to be pulled out. Amnam, however, but the sinner who sins and then returns does tshuva, lo yaspik lo gader ma'at. It's not enough for him to have just some little flimsy fence. Rather, that person has to really erect for himself many strong, hard fences. He can't take a chance of just being held in by those very light fences. It's like an addict or like an alcoholic, right? That you don't want to have the stuff around you. It's too tempting for you to easily slip into it. Another person who doesn't care about alcohol, he has alcohol in his house. What does he care? He's not drawn to it. But an alcoholic, it's very hard for him. And I've known a recovering alcoholic who he wouldn't even touch grape juice. He didn't even want grape juice in the house. It was too hard for him. Let's see, because that light fence, he already breached that light fence. He already made an opening in that fence, so it's not enough. He knows that that light fence is not enough to keep him safe. If he were to draw close to that light fence, then it's very easy for the Yetzer to just, reach in and grab him and sway him. He has to really keep far, like with great distance from, like that's where we start making the fences on the fences on the fences. Even the grape juice, I'm not going to touch. Yes, okay. And with this, the person that because of this, the person's not able to enter through that opening at the bottom of the hay, at the bottom of the achsadra, that where it has the opening. Rather, he has to ascend and enter through that narrow opening at the top. And he has to make for himself many narrowness, many tzarot, many hard things. Well, many aspects of suffering might come to him. I guess you could think of it. He has to really shrink himself to fit through that little narrow opening at the top. And sigufin, there's going to be like hard stuff that he has to go through in order to make this work and to close the breaches that he opened by falling out the first time. Because of this reason, so now we have a better understanding, a deeper understanding of this quote from the Gemara, that in the place where the Balei Tshuva stands, tzaddikim gemorim even aren't able to stand there. Because this guy who's coming back and doing tshuva, he's not re-entering through the bottom where the tzaddikim are. He's not hanging out with the tzaddikim at the bottom of the hay. He comes up through the top of the hay, makes himself very narrow and squeezes in through that top. So he is now standing at the top of the hay, and they're standing at the bottom of the hay. He needs to go up and enter through that, that narrow opening at the top, and which causes all kinds of trouble for him. Beniv delu mina, or just hardships. I don't know. Trouble, maybe not the right word. Beniv delu min hachet yoter v'yoter min tzadikim, and he is separated from his sin in a greater way than the tzaddikim, right? That he shouldn't come close to doing it because he might do it. The tzaddikim, they can come as close as they want. They're not going to do it. It doesn't affect them. They're not touched by, that's not their trigger. L'chach alu v'amdu b'madrega hay. Therefore, he goes up and he stands at this level of hay, at the top level of the hay. Heichel chamishi shebegan Eden. He's in the 5th chamber of Gan Eden, whatever that means. The Hainu Gag hay. He's at the roof of the hay. He's at the top of the hay. The tzaddikim b'petach hay bichnisat hachsadra, whereas the tzaddikim are hanging out at the bottom of the hay by the echsadra. And with this, we know that when a person wants to do tshuva, dahainu tashuv hay, if you look at the word tshuva, he wants to return through the hay or to the hay, el mikoma, to his place. And when he does that, HaShem truly returns the Shechina on him. It's not like, okay, you did tshuva, but now you're a little bit deprived. I can't really return you to the same level. No, Hashem says, great, the Shechina is going to dwell on you. You did tshuva, fantastic. And when the person returns, he doesn't return to the level of love that was experienced between them from the beginning. No, Ela yoter v'yoter. He comes up to an even higher level than he had before with Hashem. A greater degree of love is expressed between them. V'hainu yashuv yirachmenu. That is to say, and this is our quote, yashuv yirachmenu. When the person does tshuva, Hashem has mercy on us. Sheyosef liYisrael v'yitaknem. V'yikarvein yoter. That then all this is added actually as a merit for Israel. This is good for Israel. God fixes up whatever they're doing wrong, and he draws them even closer. So you do tshuva, God brings you even closer. You feel God's love even more and your own love for him even more. And at the same time, you draw that down into the world at large, and specifically for the Jewish people. And Hashem is more inclined to accept the tshuva of the Jewish people, or even if they're not doing tshuva, he's more inclined to treat them with mercy and help them fix up their problem and draw them even closer than before. Last paragraph, I know this one's a little longer. This is the way a person needs to act with his friend. He shouldn't hold on to his anger that he had from before. When he sees that his friend is seeking his love, right? Maybe even the friend didn't fix up what the problem was, but the friend is seeking his love. He wants to come back to relationship with him. He realizes he did something wrong. You need to respond to him with a level of mercy and love that's even greater than you shared before. And you say, he's like, for me, he's like a balei tshuva. And even the complete tzaddikim can't stand by where the balei tshuva stands. So he's seeking to repair our relationship. I'm going to raise him up to an even higher level of relationship than if he had never breached, than if our relationship was never, in danger. And then he draws him close, right? Even ultimately closer from that which he drew the others, meaning the tzaddikim gemorim, shehem tzaddikim gemorim imo, who are the ones who never broke his trust, shelo chatu etzlo, who never sinned by him. So gewaldige Zach, right? It's an amazing thing. And how amazing it would be if we as human beings were able to treat our fellow people like that. And even, even our intimates, like even in our own family, even our own spouses and our own children, not to carry around the scorecard. You did this, you did that. I don't know if I can ever really forgive you for this. I'm not sure I can forgive you for that one. Maybe this one I can. No, that, the person seeks to rectify the relationship. You forgive them and allow the relationship to manifest at an even higher and deeper place. If there never was that breach, if there never was that falling out. So I bless everybody with a beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. I'm going to say Psalm 20. And then Carol is going to say 119. So let's see, I'm just turning to 20 now. Sorry, I should have it open. Here is 20. This is for the refua shelayma of Binyamin Yisroel ben Chanita. Lam natzeach mizmor leDavid. Yancha Adonai biyom tzara yisagevcha Shem Elohei Yaakov. Yishlach ezrecha mikodesh. Umitzion yisadeka. Yizkor kol minchotecha ve'olatcha yideshna sela. Yitain lecha chilvavecha v'chol atzadcha yimalei. Niranana b'yeshuatecha v'shem Eloheinu nidgol. Yimalei Adonai kol mishalotecha. Ata yadati ki hoshia Adonai mishicho ya'anehu mishmei kadsho b'gvurot yesha yamino. Eilev arecha ve'eilev asusim v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu naskir. Hema karau v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'nitodad. Adonai Hoshia, Amelech Yanenu, B'yom Karenu. Shabbat Shalom. Have a beautiful, beautiful, good, lovely, loving, restorative Shabbos. Holy, healthy Shabbos. Bye. See you on Sunday.